Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 6, and the name of this episode is She Changes Everything. And man, this was a really good episode, so let me begin. The episode opens up with Lady Mae and the Bishop. We saw from the last episode that the Bishop did a statement that they're going to announce to the church that they're getting a divorce, and he pretty much told her that, I want you to, add whatever it is you want to it and whatever, and I trust your judgment. So she now has a revised statement about the divorce, and we see that they're still throwing jabs at each other, and she was saying that yes. So he's saying, so can I keep this copy? She's like, well, I know I actually have a copy sitting on your she's like, no, I actually have a copy sitting on your bed, and I made sure I use large font so you won't miss anything when you're reading it. I was like, ooh. And then pretty much they said that, and she's like, yes, and Charity is going to be performing on Sunday, because regardless of what happens between us, it will always be the Greenleaf show. And then he was like, well, what about your goodbye, because that's not in the statement. And she says, oh no, the Lord and I will be staying. She said, he's like, well, May, you're stepping down, so that means you have to leave. She's like, oh no, I'm not leaving. We built this together. I was there with you by your side through all those years that this church has been built. And she was saying that, and so God help me, I will be praying for you. And then kind of like ran off, and I was like, man, even to this end, they still are there, because it just goes to show you that both of them have big egos, and they just going toe for toe. So then we get a glimpse with Charity. Charity is still popping pills, and she was so out of it that baby Nathan was crying, and the maid pretty much had to attend to him. And she said, I can hear him all the way down. She was like, I can hear him, from my room all the way down the hall. Like, he's crying that loud. And pretty much, Lady Mae comes in, and she was saying, like, are you under the influence? And she's saying that maybe I'm starting to question, was Kevin right? Your fitness as a mother. And we just see that Charity is just really depressed, and it's like she's kind of just shut off, and all she does is just sleep, drink, and she stays on that couch and she doesn't move. So then we get a scene with Sophia and Zora, and Sophia, we can definitely tell that her getting this news about that she can't have children has taken an effect on her, and she is just mad. And she was like, and like Zora came in there, and she was like, I just came to check on you. She's like, go away, I don't want to see you. She's like, I'm really sorry for what I said, but I really came up here to check on you. She's like, why? Because Grandma told you to? She's like, yeah, but I really do care about what's going on with you, or how are you holding up? And Sophia tells her to go to hell. I was like, whoa. Yeah, because Sophia was going in on everybody this episode. And she's like, go to hell, really? Is that how we're coming? She's like, first of all, she's like, first of all, I'll deal with my things on my own, and if anything, if I need help, I would not want to talk to anybody like you. Now get out. I was like, whoa. And then we see that Grace is really hurting because she knows what Sophia is going through, and she's trying to reach out to Sophia, but right now Sophia got that wall up. Then we pretty much, Grace gets a call from Darius, and she was talking about that initiative that she's trying to launch, for women of domestic violence. They find out about this woman who actually killed her husband with a hammer. So it's like, yeah, I think this self-defense initiative is going to be needed, badly. Then we see that, the bishop meets up with Rochelle, and she's talking cryptocurrency, I'm like, that's how she gonna get your ass. She gonna get you involved in so much crap that she's just gonna take you down, you know, from the top down. And the bishop is so gung-ho with it. And, you know, and pretty much Rochelle is like, look, you know, with the cryptocurrency, now people are getting rich quicker, you know, and this is opening up a new lane for millionaires and all that, so you should get in on it. So then we actually see around the same time this is going on, Lady May is at the church too, and she's talking to the maid, and she was saying that, look, we need to smoke Charity out that room, so shut off the air conditioning, do what you gotta do, you know, relieve all the comfort from her, because she needs to get herself together. And then the next thing you know, we see that Maxine Patterson, who's played by Patti LaBelle, shows up at Greenleaf, and we definitely see that, yeah, Maxine is going to be working along with Lady May to fulfill her initiative to take over the church. And Corinne is so funny because Corinne is just so starstruck by Maxine Patterson and everything, and she's like, oh, like, yeah, you know, and as soon as she comes, she's like, oh my god, it's her. Corinne had me cracking up. It was so cute. So then we see that Maxine actually sees the bishop. She greets him. She was like, oh, it's been a long time. She's like, yeah, a very long time. So we definitely can tell there's some underlying shade going on between Maxine and the bishop. And then all of a sudden we see that, you know, everybody is crowding them because, you know, Maxine's this big televangelist. And she pretty much says that, well, I'm going to take my friend and we're going to have a conversation. And then Rochelle notices that Maxine's there too. And she's like, Maxine Patterson, I wonder what May's up to. And then the bishop's like, the devil only knows. I was like, y'all are so messed up. Because even in this time, the two of y'all are still throwing jabs at each other. And it's just so damn sad. Both of y'all are ridiculous. They just need to get back together and get some counseling and cut the BS. That's how I feel. Because it's just crazy. Now, then we get a scene where Darius is there with Grace and Rochelle, and they're talking about, you know, this whole latest case that happened, and that why her new initiative is going to be helpful to help women of domestic violence get proper representation. And we see in this whole situation that daggone Rochelle with her hot pocket behind is literally throwing herself on the Darius. And she was like, oh yes, and I like that shirt. It looks so good on you. Grace, did you pick that out? She was like, no, he dresses himself. And she's like, ooh, that's even better. You know, you kind of got the little bit of neck and you're showing just the right amount of skin. And she's saying, so do we want, so Grace is kind of clocking her, and she's like, do you want to do this case? And she's like, girl, I trust you. Everything I know, everything is going to work out fine, because I know with you at the helm, everything's going to work out. Now, back to you, Mr. Reporter. I was like, oh, Rochelle is asking to get knocked out. Because, girl, you are making it plainly obvious you coming for her man. So, but we actually know that Rochelle's a hot pocket. She probably got a whole lot of men that she done screwed to get what she wants. And then we see that after, and then we see later on that Darius is like checking her out too. And I'm like, see, Darius already proven he can't be trusted. So, so therefore we see that Lady May and Maxine have a conversation. She's going to be doing some dates, but then she's also going to be there, you know, for Lady May's, I think it's Lady Day, to, you know, she's going to be one of the speakers there. But then in this conversation, they talk about Charity, and that, you know, ever since she had her cesarean, she had these pills, and she's been popping these pills left and right. And I feel like she's at a loss, and she needs help. Well, pretty much, Maxine was like, well, I got a doctor. And she was like, a doctor? She's like, yeah, she's a soul doctor. I know exactly what you need. And I knew exactly who she was talking about, too. So I was like, I was all here for it. So then we get a scene with that daggone Zora. Zora with her sneaky behind calls herself going into the maid's purse to use her phone, and the maid catches her. And I'm like, see, that, and then like we see that Lady Maid reprimands her, you know, takes the phone from her and all that. And she pretty much saying that, I can't stand this. I hate it here. It feels like prison. She was like, no, boo-boo. What you hate is yourself. Because only someone who hates themselves will go after a man who puts his hands on you. So you need to rest with that and get yourself together. And then we see that she just breaks down and starts screaming. And I'm like, see, Zora's spoiled. She's spoiled. She's used to getting her way. And it's like when someone tells her no, she's going to find another way to do what she wants to do. So then we see that lady. So then we see that Charity, we see that Lady May goes to see Charity, and she finally brings in somebody that's there to help her, and it's none other than Fix My Life, alum, Iyanla Vanzant. And she goes in like, hello, beloved. What your mother has told me is that you have a problem. And we see that Charity and Iyanla have a moment, and she's like, I'm good. I don't need nobody. I don't need no help, and I don't need you coming up in here trying to fix anything. And she's like, honey, I'm not going to fight you for your healing. I was like, I love Iyanla though. But she's saying that, but according to what I've learned is that you're in a lot of pain, which is why you're taking painkillers, which is why you slept on your son. And I can see that you're hurt. So what are you hurt about? And she lets her know that nobody cares about me. And then she discusses like, she talks about, Kevin and Jabari. She said that here it is, and she says that so that explains why you ended up marrying a gay man, and then you went after another man that pretty much cut you off with the quickness. So she was saying that, you mean to tell me that after all that time you were with Kevin, you never knew he was gay? And she's like, I didn't know. He hid it from me. I didn't know. And she was saying that, well, that's a big secret to keep, and how could you not notice the signs? And there were signs, but we definitely knew the signs too from season 1 that Kevin was one of the children, but she didn't. She overlooked it, and especially when those two gay guys bought them drinks when they were at that karaoke bar. So yeah, I remember that. But then she said that, but what was it that kept you, what was it about Kevin that attracted you to him? And she said that Kevin made her feel safe because she's always felt unsafe and unwanted, and she never felt safe, not even in her family. And I'm like, this is getting to the root of things. It does start at the root. And I'm like, that's probably why she stayed with Kevin for so long, because Kevin made her feel safe. Kevin nurtured her in a way that she wasn't being nurtured by her family, which is why she probably just overlooked or didn't want to pay attention to the signs that Kevin was gay. So then we see that Roberto goes to visit Sophia, and she was so mean to him, and pretty much he was saying that, you want to pray, and she was like, please, what am I going to pray for? I can never have kids. And she was saying, why would I want to pray to him when he did this? He took this from me. But then he tells her that, look, there are women in the Bible, like Sarah, Elizabeth, women who were barren but still had kids. And she's like, well, I'm not barren, I'm sterile. And he says it's the same thing. And she's like, you know what the hell do you know? Because he had talked about, he had prayed to God when he had when he had broke his arm, and God got him through it. She says that, first of all, and a broken arm it's not going to compare to what I'm going through, so you need to go somewhere with that. And he was like, you know what, I'll come check on you tomorrow. So she kind of just blew him off, and I'm like, man, this whole situation has really rocked Sophia to her core. So, oh yeah, and I already talked about. So then we see that Zora, being the smart aleck that she is, goes to Lady May and she asks, "Can I call my mom?" She says, "Sure, honey." So she gets the phone and calls her mother, and she tells her mother, "I want to come home." And she was like, "Look, I want to talk to your dad first, and we'll discuss it." So we see that Jacob and Carissa have a conversation. That Jacob was like, "No, she ain't coming back here." She's like, "But she's miserable there." And she's like, "Which proves that it's working. She ain't there on no vacation." So I'm putting my foot down. I'm vetoing this bill, and the answer is no. I'm like, But the thing about it, you really don't realize that your daughter's sneaky, and she will find a way through hell or high water to get what she wants. So then we actually see that that Grace and Sophia have a moment, and she pretty much says that, "I don't know about Roberto. I don't think we're a good fit anymore." And she pretty much says that and they was so pretty much she was asking about, like, "Are you going to be going back to talk to the little saints?" And she was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "God is good." And Sophia was like, "No, he isn't. God isn't good, because why would he do this to me if he was such a good God?" And she's like, "I'm not going back to church." And we just see that it just breaks Grace's heart. So pretty much what she decided to do, Iyanla, like she normally does, sits down with the whole family. Well, sits down with the mother and the father, and with Charity. So we see that she has to sit down with the family, and she wants Charity to express how she's feeling. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my bad. What ends up happening in this scene? Lady May and the bishop, but they discussed that Iyanla wants to sit with the both of them. They'll sit with Charity, and then she was talking about, they talk about Maxine, and she's like, "So what's going on here? What's your plan?" And she was saying that well, let's just say that we putting together some things, and things are gonna go down, and it is what it is. I'm doing what I gotta do. And he was saying that and he said that, well, you need to attach, a farewell at the end of that statement that I'm gonna read on Sunday. Just saying. But then, like, Lady May was like, "Well, it seems that God may have another chance." So they still going back and forth with each other. Oh yeah, and I did talk about how she confronted her. So now I'm gonna talk about the intervention. And Iyanla is there with Charity and with Lady May and the bishop, and this just goes to show you how things are rooted. Because here it is, she's telling Charity to express how she feels, and she said when she grew up, she always felt scared because Grace was scared and Faith was scared. And I'm like, yeah, because of Uncle Mac. Because Uncle Mac attempted to rape Grace, but he actually raped Faith. So she's trying to tell her, like, look, she's like, "Are you blaming us for this?" And Iyanla's like, "No, she's not blaming you. She's telling you how she feels and how she's seeing things from her perspective." And she was saying that, so immediately, Lady May's like, "What, you told her about your uncle?" And then Iyanla's like, "Why wouldn't she tell me about that? I mean, after all, this is a part of her life, and she's sharing with you why she's displaying the type of feelings that she's displaying. Why she's feeling the way she is. She's not blaming anybody. She's telling you her truth." And Lady May just couldn't even deal with this. She just like, "Oh, so what's the so pretty much, there's things that bother me too, but I dealt with it. You need to have a backbone, and you need to stop, being so small about things. You need to just deal with things and just continue to move forward." And she was like, and then like the bishop's like, "But this is our daughter, and we need to be there for her, and we need to hear her out and find out what's going on. And she's like, and you of all people got another talk while you running through our lives like an old bull in a china shop. I'm like, Lady Mae, you in these reads, I can't. Ooh. And she pretty much tells her that, look, you need to either, so pretty much you need to pray. And so pretty much she says that when you need to, so she pretty much says that what you need to do, Charity, is you need to pray. And you need to pray for faith. And if you can't pray for faith, you need to ask God. You need to pray for the, you need to, how the way she said it? Well, she said that one, you need to pray. And if you don't have faith, you need to pray for faith. And if you don't, if you don't have an answer there, then you just need to ask God. You just need to ask the Lord to be there for you, because at the end of the day, I can't take no more. I'm already going through enough, and I don't need nobody coming after me this morning. I'm like, May, you literally just made this whole session about yourself. And it wasn't about you. It was about her and about her relation, because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that she's dealing with does come from you and the bishop. And she always did get lost in the shuffle. We knew this about Charity from episode 1 of season 1, that she was like that middle child that just got lost in the shuffle. And that's how she feels. She feels unwanted. She feels unsafe. Because one, you allowed your sick, twisted brother walk around the house knowing he was a pedophile, and due to the fact that Lady Mae was being molested by her own father, just goes to show you that, sweetie, this pain goes deep, and this is what Iyanla was trying to display. But it's like that situation had me tripping, because I'm like, you literally just made it about yourself. So pretty much, we see that Bishop and Lady Mae have a conversation. He pretty much says he's gonna leave her the house, and that he'll handle the IRS bill. I'm like, yeah, you think you're gonna handle it? That Rochelle got a trick up her sleeve, and she's gonna take you for everything you got. And then he pretty much says that, you're gonna have to leave the church. But then she was like, well, the thing is, I still want to have my day with Lady Mae. And he's like, okay, fine, we can do that. So then we see that daggone Zora goes to the church and goes into Grace's office on her laptop and starts video chatting with Isaiah. And I'm like, Zora ain't gonna be happy till somebody till that boy probably kill her or try to kill her, because she's broken so badly that she keeps fine off of a man that has no respect for her. But to her, she thinks that's love, and it's because she doesn't love herself. And that was pretty much the whole. It's like Lady Mae's words, rung true in that moment, that because she hates herself, she continues to seek after a man that doesn't love her. So then we see that Charity is singing at the service, and they make the announcement that they're divorcing, and pretty much, Lady Mae lets it be known that I will be staying on as First Lady until after a day with Lady Mae, because I think that's the event where she's going to use to turn everything around, where she's going to do a takeover of the church. And she says that Maxine Patterson will be there working with me, and we see Rochelle is looking at Maxine with a turned face and like, she gonna try to work out an angle to try to stop Maxine too, because we know that Rochelle has got her hand in a pot across the board. And she pretty much says that I want to have this great event, to show women in the church that, and she says, what I'm gonna call it is She Changes Everything. So regardless, no matter where you are in life and no matter where you're dealing with, she changes everything. I'm like, you better go, May. And we just see that the bishop's looking at her like, I know, and he kind of giving that lurk like, oh, you really trying to come for me? I'm going to show you something. Like, because they really now are rivals now. And she's kind of letting it be known that she's about to flip the script. And that's what that whole thing was all about. And then we see after the service, Grace is like emotionally struck, hearing that our parents are divorcing. She's going through the halls and she's seeing Connie is talking to people saying that, yes, we need new leadership in the church, looking to Grace. And then we see Miss Clara is talking to Rochelle, and she's like, well, I don't know if I want to be a part of a church where the pastor is not married and that the pastor's going through a divorce or whatever. And they all kind of, you know, flip like, I'm so sorry to hear about your parents, but y'all sitting up in there talking crap, you know, up under your breaths and stuff. And it's just crazy. Oh yeah, and then and it was in this scene where I think it was Rochelle walks off and Darius comes up and meets up with Grace, and he starts to check out Rochelle, and I'm like, yeah, Darius can't be trusted at all. So then we see Lady May and Maxine. They talk about life, and they talk about, you know, picking up the pieces, and she lets her know that, yes, I will be back for the for Lady Day, and we're about to turn this thing around because it's all yours, May. It's all yours. And then she talks to Iyanla Vanzant saying that, I don't like how you tried to humiliate me in front of my daughter and all of that. She says, I wasn't trying to humiliate you. I just told your daughter to tell her truth, and that's what she did. But she's like, but I don't like the fact that, you know, you were just supposed to be here helping her, not trying to put me out there or trying to, you know, make me look bad in front of my family. And she was like, I didn't make you look bad. Her truth made you feel some kind of way, and that's when you're reacting to. But I can see that the same pain that's going on with Charity, I feel the same thing with you. And when you're ready to face this, you know where to find me. And I'm like, you better go, Iyanla. She want to go sit there and let Lady May play that crap with her. Like, honey, you obviously got some issues, and you need to deal with that. Then when you're ready to deal with it, give me a call. Because, again, she ain't going to fight you for your healing. And we know Lady May is damaged as well, because she's been a victim of molestation and been a victim of being disrespected. So we can definitely see that she's kind of brought that same type of tension and that same type of, you know, fear onto her children. So I'm saying the roots are everything. So pretty much we see that Carissa and Zora have a moment where Carissa says that, look, I had a conversation with your father and we decided to stay the course. And Zora's like, well, that's okay, that's fine. Everything's good. I'm okay here. Everything's going to work itself out. So then we get the last scene with Sophia and Grace. You can definitely tell Grace's, I'm sorry. We can definitely tell that Sophia's energy is off. And I think it was this scene where she asked about the little saints and all of that, and she was saying, I'm never going back to church again. I'm over it. So she goes out walking, and we can just see she's broken and she's hurt. And she has a cross around her neck. Throughout the episode, she was holding on to this cross, but she goes by the pond, you know, the same pond that that Faith had killed herself in, you know, by jumping in the water. She literally takes the cross and throws it in the water. So right now she's mad at God, and there's nothing anybody can do. And then we definitely see, you know, next week it gets even crazy because she's ripping out pages in the Bible. So Sophia really needs an intervention, and she needs a real one too. Iyanla need to talk to her, you know, because she needs Iyanla bad, because dealing with something like that definitely breaks you, and it definitely changes you. And we can definitely see that Sophia is going to be forever changed by this. But the question is, can we actually get her back to the good side of life, or are we going to allow her to continue, or will she continue to wallow in her anger that it will totally make her reject the Lord altogether? So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social networks. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Greenleaf. So until next time, everybody, take care.